Hey everyone, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to this video. We've been waiting for this one for a minute now, haven't we? This is our planner Q&A. Thank you so much for everyone who sent in your questions. I had asked on my YouTube channel as well as Instagram for any questions that you might have about Memory Planner. I'm going to the best of my ability, answer those for you. I'm here for it. Are you ready to go? Let's do this. Okay, I have my iPad pulled up here with questions that you have sent in. This might end up being a two-parter, just depends how long this goes. And that's okay, we can do two parts to our Q&A. First question came in from Pam, and what is the most common size picture you use in your Stop the Blur album? Now, this has been and continues to be an evolution. I don't think I actually stick to any one size, unfortunately. I mean, I've had 4x6, I've had 5x7, but most commonly was her question. Right now, I am loving 2x2 size photos. And I'm gonna show you here in my album, and probably most recently in June, where you are seeing 2x2s played out here on the page. Mostly because they tend to fit the actual height of our day space on the memory planner. And I'm using the most recent memory planner I have here is the Blush from Heidi Swap Shop. And this is a 3-month memory planner. And I really am liking the 3-month size format, and I'm getting ready to start a new one that will be home to July, August, and September. Wait, did I just say September? Yikes. These are mostly 2x2. Now let me add my little caveat here, and that is I take most of my pictures, for the most part, I take my pictures on my phone. Very often I am taking them on my larger camera. When I take them on my phone, I almost always do portrait because that's what's fitting in Instagram. It's what's fitting in stories. It's what's fitting in Reels, right? And so I will then bring that into Photoshop Elements. I will change the width to 2 inches, but that leaves it longer, right? It leaves the photo size about 2.667. I know, funny size. And so you're gonna see that size in my memory planner as well. Valerie has a great question and a common, very often heard of question. And it goes like this. So do you have advice on where to start? Should I go back and watch the previous videos or start now, then do what? So great question. And I know it can be overwhelming. I have a video that I did early last winter about pressure is not inspiration. There is a lot of content out there, friends. There's a lot of content. I even know for myself as a creator, I can get caught up in everything that I see out there. And it's all wonderful and awesome, but I have to kind of like keep my focus on just certain things. And so it can be overwhelming to want to have it all done at one time, or where do I go? Our best advice for you is start right where you are. Start today. Start in this day. If you are a subscriber to Heidi Swap Stop the Blur video series, every month she comes out with new content. Well, then start there. Start with this month's and gain something from it and finish up a week in June, then finish up 2 weeks, and then finish up the whole month. And just really start where you are. It can be overwhelming to go back and try to capture all that, and you might want to. But if you're not able to do that, then don't. Find out what's going to work for you and make that work. So Carrie asked, could you explain how you do the little flip photos? I think what she means by the little flip photos, and I'm looking here in my memory planner again, I have this flip album right here, and this is a very, very simple flip out. And what you can see here is that actually this is 2 pieces of paper. They are 4 inches wide by 2 inches tall. And here's the second one, 4 inches wide, 2 inches tall. Then I folded it in half. I added a photo here to the front, added a photo here to the second page. These 2 pages are attached. So this is the second piece of paper, And there's my last photo. This is probably the easiest flip that I have out there. And so I hope that answered your question, Carrie. All right, now I'm gonna read this one all right off of my list here because this is a long one and we might spend a little bit of time on this one. Are you good with that? Okay, let's go. Let's dive into this one from Jillian. How do you go about planning your page? So you have your photos in front of you, you have your kit next to you. How do you decide what goes where? I know you use the planner template, but when you are using it, how do you decide where things will go and in what format? How do you decide where your journaling will go and how? Straight on the page or on something else? Do you choose your color scheme from the photos or the kit? What inspires you? Woo! Okay, that was not one question, just in case we're not clear. No, actually, awesome questions. And again, all these questions here, I get them pretty often. So if you think you have a unique question, you might not. You might have other friends, crafty friends out there who have the same questions as you. I'm just going to take this one question at a time. So how do you go about planning your page? She referred to the planner template. There is a free formula template on Heidi Swap Shop. You have to be part of Heidi Swap Stop the Blur video series. And in the downloads in there, there's a wonderful formula. And I do use that pretty often. And then since its formation, and I'm like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Leave it to Heidi to think of all the things, right? So since its formation, I use that quite a bit. And in my June memory planner video, which I will link here below, I talk about what is kind of a classic Jamie way to go about a day. And it basically consists of a photo of journaling and either stamped image, something from the Stop the Blur printable. Maybe it's a pre-made element that I've already done and I have here in a box in the studio that I just kind of rummaged through and grabbed from. It really doesn't fall anywhere outside of that. Now, go through, and I'm getting ready to do a 3-month walkthrough. Go through those walkthroughs and you're going to see that variation pretty much play out again and again, but a variation on a theme. And I'm big on variation on themes, actually. So that's how I go about planning my pages. I use the formula. I have a daily jotter, and there's a video out on my channel about my daily jotter and how I pull information from that. I know that can be overwhelming as well. Like, what do I say? I put a funny story out on my stories today, and it's just about keep trying to find how you do a thing. Go ahead and make mistakes, learn something from it, and then try it again. I guarantee if you've not dabbled very long into memory planning, you have a little bit of a learning curve. And that's okay. Enjoy it. Do a page like someone else. Completely case it if you need to. It's okay. You will find your style. I can almost money back guarantee you're going to find your style. So she asked, you have your photos in front of you. Okay, that's my thing. I print my photos first. I take time every week. I take time every time I get ready to do a planner session. I organize my photos by week inside monthly folders on my computer. And so I just kind of rummage through those. Sometimes I print all the photos and sometimes I use them all. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes my colors aren't working for me. I'll have it all laid out there. Again, refer to the June memory planner walkthrough. I had a page where the colors weren't working for me, and you can see what I did with the photos that I still wanted to include. I get very color eccentric. I work with my photos, and whatever the Stop the Blur kit colors might have, I'll mostly kind of work with those, but not always. I know I'm really not answering your question very well here, am I? I'm so sorry. I wonder if we just need to have a beginner class. Raise your hand down below if you think we need a beginner planner class, because I've been thinking about that. Anyway, that's my answer for Jillian right now, and I might come back to that in another video at another time. I love B's question. B's from France, and she's started following me. Hello, B. When in your day do you love to scrap the most? I love to scrap mid-morning. And the reason for that is, especially right now, the light is absolutely beautiful in my studio about mid-morning. I'm an early riser. I get up actually I awaken the dawn. That's my goal every day, to awaken the dawn. I spend time in the Bible. I am journaling. I'm planning out my day. I work on my business in the morning when it's super quiet around my home. And then when everyone starts waking up and my thoughts start to get a little bit more interrupted, the sun is lighting up this space beautifully, and mid-morning is my most favorite time. I grab my like second, third, maybe fourth cup of coffee. You'll probably see those images in my stories. Those are actually what's going on in my studio. I wish I was a night owl. I wish I could get in here at night when it gets quiet again. I can't. I need my sleep. Carrie had another question for us, and she says, it reminds me, those little books are amazing. Will there be a process video on those? And she's referring to the little mini booklets that Heidi has in the shop. And I've done a couple reels on those. You can find those in my Instagram feed. I have a couple of them in the June planner. You'll see that again in the walkthrough. And, basically they're just like little mini albums is all they are. And they're great places for lists. They're great places for if you want 3x4 photos. They're great places for if you have more photos and maybe you think your page is going to hold. There's a lot of opportunity for making these books work really beautifully on our pages. They're a little bulky. I held mine out until I was all done with my book, and I'm going to add them right back to my book so they're always there. I always know where they are. But maybe I'll have to do a separate video on that or something, because to me, it's just kind of like a mini album inside my planner, my memory planner. So I don't have a process video on that yet, but you never know. You guys have asked for a lot of things lately, and I am making a list and I'm checking it twice. So just make sure you subscribe to my channel to see what I come up with next. Okay, Nat's question is, I'd love to know how long each week takes you to pull together. And that's a great question. And I've actually just recently streamlined that. And I streamlined that by two things. The first way was by using that new formula worksheet that Heidi put out. It's been super helpful for me to plot out what I want my days to look like and then just get that transferred onto my page. The second thing that's been really helpful, I lately have kind of jumped on this what I call fodder trend, making elements for making's sake. And I have some blog posts out there that talks about that. So I'm often just making stamped collage tags or pre-made pockets or just little elements that you're gonna probably see me posting either on Instagram, Facebook, in my reels, those kinds of places. And I keep those in a basket and I just look through them and rummage through them. And a lot of times they're taking up a nice space on my memory planner week. And so that has really helped. Instead of taking time and thinking, oh man, I really want a collage tag here, and taking the time to put that together, I don't do that as much anymore, because if I have an idea for something, I'll just try to get it made and not have an intention waiting for it on the other end. I just have it on the ready. And I've been loving that for so many reasons. We can unpack that for a long time. That's just something I'm really enjoying right now. Tina's got a great question, and I would really like an answer for this question as well. How do you print all of your photos in such small sizes? I'm trying to work out how to do that from my iPhone. Tina, I have no idea. I don't print from my phone. I don't use an app for printing. I think for me, it's important that I archive all my photos on my external drive that's attached to my desktop. That includes my phone photos. That includes, of course, my camera photos, and they are all in one place. I have quite a few photos on my phone, don't get me wrong, but I do also take quite a few off when I'm taking time to pull those photos and to edit and whatnot. So I don't know about an app for printing. I know Heidi talks about persnickety sprints. That's what I almost said. You might want to refer to her feed to find out more about that, or just go to Persnickety Prints, or just download their app. That is an option for you. Other than that, I don't know. I'm not good at using my phone for actually printing. Martha has a great question, and we're going to wrap this week's Q&A up with this question. This is so lovely. Looking forward to the video. I'd like a reminder of how you place items on the pages. Everything is always so balanced and fits together beautifully. Also, do you keep a stash of handmade pockets and such, or make as you go? Well, we answered that last question already, didn't we? Thanks so much, Martha, for helping me out. Yes, I do keep a stash of handmade pockets, tags, clusters of elements. Yes, I do keep a stash of that, and that stash is growing, and I love it. How do I keep everything so balanced and fitting together beautifully? Well, that's a very high compliment. Thank you so much. I think the color is the biggest thing. I think it's balancing the color really helps. I've talked about in my videos how if I have an element on this side of the page here, and I'm looking at my week of June 20, I have elements here of these alpha letters, then I make sure I have them playing out on the other side as well. For me, that creates balance. Even this black ink right here, it balances out with this black label over here. The greenishness of this yay over here balances with this green star on this tag. This has become something that I have practiced over and over again. You've seen me on videos where I'm like, I really didn't love this page, and it's probably because it didn't feel balanced to me. And what do? Anyone know what I do with that page? I embrace it. I keep it. I go on to the next week, because that's not what matters. What matters? It's that we're telling our story. It's that we have some of our life written down on the page. We don't have to have all of our life. We live way too much life to have it all written down on the page. But we live just so many wonderful elements that, and even the hard stuff can go on these pages too, because you need to know that you grew and you learned from a difficult situation that at the time you thought was impossible. Wow, I could go on that for a long time too. That's my answer to that, Martha, is practice. I keep doing it. If I don't love it, I don't redo it. I just move on, and I enjoy the fact that I have so much written here on these pages that bless my heart. And if anyone ever wants to read them in the future, well, they can, but this is for me. And if it is balanced, then I just feel so grateful that I just love the page. All right, friends, thank you so much for being part of this Q&A. Yes, I have more questions. If you have sent one in to me, I have not forgotten you. Just tune into that next video when it comes up. Please subscribe to my page. Please like this video if indeed you did like it, and I will see you in the next video.